Hello friends, welcome to our channel Easy English to have glimpses of English language and literature. Today we are going to understand in simple English John Donne's famous poem The Sun Rising. I am Srinivas Pawar, Assistant Professor of English from Basar Desai College, Patan, Maharashtra. Before actually going to the poem, we will see some interesting details about John Donne, who was born in 1572 and died in 1631, aged 59. Donne was an English poet, scholar, and a soldier. His works include sonnets, love poems, religious poems, Latin translations, epigrams, elegies, songs, and satires. He is a representative of metaphysical poets, meaning he writes something beyond material or beyond physical. Donne is famous for his metaphysical conceit, which is an extended metaphor or comparison between an object in the physical world and an entity's spiritual qualities. Along with the poets like George Herbert, Andrew Marvell, Henry Vaughan, John Donne developed a poetic style in which philosophical subjects were approached with reason and often concluded in paradox. His important poetic works are songs and sonnets and the holy sonnets, which contain most of his amazing poems. Donne's style is a reaction against the smoothness of conventional Elizabethan poetry. Moving on to the theme of the poem, The Sun Rising, it is basically a lyric or love song. It is an obeyed or morning love song, that is, it is a poem about lovers who are getting separated due to the sun rising. The metaphysical conceit or the extended metaphor used here is the comparison of the sun to an old man. The sun is personified as a busy old fool who disturbs the lovers in the early morning by its appearance. The poet also uses hyperbole, a literary device to disclaim the authority of the sun. Here the poet calls himself a king, and his beloved is his kingdom, and their bedroom is the whole world for them. The Sun Rising is a 30-line poem divided into three stanzas of 10 lines each, rhyming A B B A C D C D E E. That is the first quatrain. The first line rhymes with the fourth and the second with the third. Each stanza is further divided into two quatrains, that is two stanzas of 4 lines each, and followed by a couplet, that is a stanza of two rhyming lines. We will see the first 4 lines of the first stanza and will try to understand it. Busy old fool, unruly sun, why dost thou thus through windows and through curtains call on us? Must to thy motions lovers' seasons run? The poet here personifies the sun as a busy old fool. For the poet, the sun is unruly, that is, it does not follow the discipline of not disturbing the lovers. We can clearly see that the poet is not happy with the call of the sun in the early morning, which is evident by the rays of the sun through windows and through curtains. The poet is, of course, lying in the bed with his beloved and does not want to get out of the sweet company of his beloved. Then he asks the sun, why you are disturbing us, shedding your rays through windows and curtains? Shall the seasons of love run with your motion? That is, shall the sun guide the lover's activities onwards? Definitely not. The poet is found obsessed with love for his beloved. We can read it in the following lines as saucy pedantic wretch, go chide, let schoolboys and sore apprentices go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride, call country ants to harvest offices. The poet calls the sun a saucy pedantic wretch, that is, an unhappy person who supposes himself a very clever man and who does not bother about lovers' emotions. The poet tells the sun to go and bother late school boys and blame them. Blame the unhappy trainees, O sun. Bother them, those huntsmen whom king will give orders, and call those country ants, that is, countrymen, farmers, to harvest the land. So it says, don't bother us, we lovers, O sun. See how desperate poet is to get rid of the sun. What might be the reason? Can you guess? Yes, the poet does not want to go away from his beloved in that bedroom. That's why he is scolding the sun. He is challenging the very authority of the sun, saying, love, all alike, no season knows, nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time. Here poet says, love knows no season, no climate, nor day, nor night, nor a month, nor an hour. He says, O sun, if you are the deciding factor of the phenomenon time, the lovers don't know any piece of time. Their love is all the same during day or during the night. So, rising up of the sun will not bother John Donne and his beloved, it seems. Reading the second stanza, we get one more question thrown at the sun. Thy beams so reverend and strong, why shouldest thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with a wing, but that I would not lose her sight so long? Poet asks, why should the sun think that his beams are so divine, so strong? Why? It is because the poet can eclipse or can cover the whole sun. He can cloud the sun with one blink of his eyes. See how exaggeration works here. But poet will not do so. Why? Because poet doesn't want to lose the sight of his beloved for a moment also. Otherwise he could have eclipsed the sun out of anger. It suggests that the sun has no real power over the activities of the lovers. On the other hand, the lover chooses to allow the sun to come into their bedroom so that he can see his beloved's face. The poem is very interesting in looking at how John Donne mocks at the sun. Let us read the following lines of the second stanza. If her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late tell me, whether both the Indias of spice and mine be where thou left'st them, or lie here with me. Now for poet, his beloved's eyes are brighter than the sun. So assuming that her eyes have not blinded the sun's eyes, the poet wants the sun to go and check whether both the Indias lie where they lied yesterday. The poet gives the sun time up to tomorrow evening. He wants to check it because the poet has the feeling that the rich land of spices, that is East India, and the land of minerals, West Indies, must lie here with the poet. It is because now that the poet has his beloved with him, all the world's riches are with the poet. And the poet wants to confirm it with the help of the sun by tomorrow evening. See how loftier claims Mr. Donne is acclaiming here. In the following lines, poet says, ask for those kings whom thou sawest yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bed lay. The poet wants the sun to ask the kings whom the sun met yesterday, and poet is sure that those kings will also tell the sun that all the spices and minerals, all the prosperity and wealth lie here in one bed, the bed on which the poet has his beloved with him. So, for any lover in the world, he might be a king or any ordinary person, for any lover, his beloved is his wealth, his beloved is his life, his world. This is a bold and monstrous comparison, a hyperbole of the highest order Donne gives in this poem. The beloved of the poet here is compared with all the beautiful things in the world which the sun meets as it travels the world. These all sovereign beautiful things thus seem to be assembled in the poet's beloved. For poet, his beloved is a thing of beauty, joy forever. His beloved is the unheard melody he listens to every day and night. Let us move on to the last stanza where Donne tries to shrink the world into his bedroom. He says, she is all states and all princes I, nothing else is. Princess, do but play us. Compared to this, all honor is a mimic, all wealth alchemy. For poet, his beloved is like every country in the world, and he is like every king for his beloved. Nothing else is real. Princes in the world simply play at having countries, meaning that princes only pretend to be like poet. Compared to the poet's love, all honor is a cheap copy of the honor that poet shares with his beloved. All wealth is a futile attempt to attain the riches that lovers already have attained. Such a comparison sets the spiritual metaphor in the poem. The lovers are seen having more honor and wealth than the actual princes, kings have, because the lovers share the divine feeling of love which can only be shared between the two spirits. In the following lines, poet tells the sun that thou sun art half as happy as we, in that the world's contracted thus. Thine age asks ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that is done in warming us. Now the poet declares that the sun is half as happy as the lovers are. It is because the whole world is contracted, is shrinked in them. The lover is the king of his beloved, and his beloved is his state or his kingdom. That's it. The poet also advises the sun that now, as he is an aged man, an old man, he should take things easily. If the sun's duty is to warm the world, his duties would be fulfilled in warming the two lovers only. How beautifully John Donne allows the sun to come into his bedroom only to fulfill his purposes. Earlier, it was this sun who was disturbing the lovers, and now the same busy old fool unruly sun becomes someone who will warm the lovers. No, the sun will warm the lovers only. Why? Poet tells it in the last two lines. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy center is, these walls thy sphere. How beautifully John Donne concludes the poem. O sun, he says, O aged man, by shining here on us, You can shine everywhere. This bed where lovers make love has now become the center of the sun, and the walls of the bedroom have become the sphere of the sun around which it can shine. The final line here refers to the geocentric astronomical idea that the earth is the center of the universe and the sun rotates around the earth. Thus, John Donne concludes by reducing the entire world to the bedroom of the lovers. Thus, the poem gives voice to the feelings of lovers. These feelings are outside of time and are of the utmost importance for them. Thus, John Donne's The Sun Rising ends here. Hope you have enjoyed the abrupt openings of John Donne, his use of dramatic speech rhythms, and his dislocations. To have more glimpses into English language and literature, I kindly request you to subscribe my channel, Easy English. It is easy. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience listening.